They'll be calling you a radical. I told you. Nobody listened. I don't gamble anymore, but I'm like, they're like 10 to 1 on the money line. Do you know they were a 17 or a 16 and a half point underdog last night? I told everybody around it. Oh, no. I know. Nobody knows more about this. Well, the old timer, Mr. Freeze. I got to tell you this story, and then we'll talk about this historic win for Weber State and this historic team. As I'll be marking them off. That's 2. Lillard, Dillion Jones. But that's 2 in a row victories for the season. This will be, well, it's going to be beyond historic, legendary season. So, the old man, Mr. Freeze, who's 95, I sit with now. You know, I always sit right there. He says, God, you know, because I used to sit down and do the play-by-play for KWCR 88.1 The Beat. They got rid of him. So get this. I'm sitting probably about from here to there where I sit. Before. Had to buy him. I got front row tickets. So a guy who watches my videos and has listened to me do the call on KWCR all those years, whatever, he says, no, they want to get rid of you? Here, go in there and get a season ticket on that front row, right behind Klauke. They got him, yeah. Lucky I got it, because they won't be available soon. So they're going to sell Dillion Jones jersey. They'll be coming into the bookstore this week. I remember when they started selling the Damian Lillard jersey after the fact. Damian Lillard got no love here. None. And it was Jimmer. And after the fact, then Weber State decided, they had him on billboards, they had him on buses, they had him everywhere. They were selling 200 or 300 jerseys out of the bookstore a day. The last one of that first group, they gave me after the fact all those years. I do the play-by-play. I've had everybody sign it that's anybody. So, anyway, I just talked to him at the bookstore. I says, what day are you getting him? We don't know yet, but I says, get ready. There'll be people all over the country buying these things faster than they get them in. They'll have to stand in. I'm serious. His best game he ever had last night? No, it was a great game. I don't think it was his best. I've seen him even play better in here. So, the old man, Mr. Freeze, I was all over Lillard from day one. But that was easy, because I'd watched his tapes. You know, I was part of the group recruiting him, you know, when I used to help out here. I knew what we was right off the fucking get, you know, and so did he. He'd tell you right to your fucking face. Oh, no, I'm playing in the fucking NBA. Oh, no, I'm a first round. So, you know, I've dedicated the entire season to Anthony Johnson. Well, he's a Montana guy. I don't give a shit. The greatest performance in the history of this building, Damian Lillard. Dillion Jones? No, it's Anthony Johnson. Harold Arsenault, the show. Freaking Eddie Gill. Ruben Nemhart. Oh, Jerry Carding. Yeah, Jerry. Nope. A Montana guy? Yeah. Anthony Johnson. 34 points in the second half in the Big Sky Championship game. Never missed a field goal in there. Double team, triple, scored the last 21 points. Knocked Lillard out. It blows my mind because Klauke's awesome. We love Klauke. But the football people, they don't even do their homework. You know, Klauke does, but, the locals, I did. Those guys last night did the call for St. Mary's. Oh, they did their homework. I says, yeah, we're doing a bunch of work. Get ready for this game. And we couldn't believe they hadn't been in the tournament since 26. Longest dry spell in the history of the school, if they don't make it this year. So Mr. Freeze told me one day we're sitting there, and so Dillion, one of his first games, I don't know if people know this, he was up at, I believe, Idaho State, and he knocked the referee cold. Not on purpose. He celebrated, and he went, oh, by the way, does the dude just keep growing? I'm like, he didn't even hit a growth spurt. I think he was 20. He just keeps growing. Anyway, so I've known him since he was a freshman here. You go ask him. He and I are friends. And I told him the first time I really had a conversation with him, I ran into him and I says, hey, you did something that I've been wanting to do for decades. And he says, what's that? Knock a Big Sky referee out. Granted, you didn't do it on purpose, but so I wasn't sold on him being this mega superstar. I liked him. They had a lot of good players here. A lot. Jerry Carding. And so, Mr. Freeze, this is when Dillon's a freshman late in the year. He says, Kevin. He yells at me, can you get Dillion to walk over here? I says, yeah. Hey, Dillion, this is the Godfather here. He wants to talk to you. And this is the first conversation he ever had with Dillion Jones when Dillion was a freshman. He says, I'm going to tell you something. You're better than Damian Lillard at this point. You keep progressing, you'll go higher in the draft than Lillard. I says, God, you really think so? I don't think so. I'm like, he wasn't Lillard. I mean, well, now look at him. He's grown, but and I'm like, I got to give it to the old timer. The other day we were having a conversation. He says, when I became a hardcore Weber State fan? And I says, when's that? And he says, 1959, when Alan Holmes, a lot of people don't know Alan Holmes is the real father of Byron Scott. Byron Scott was born and raised in Ogden, Utah. Alan Holmes down at the old Deseret Gym on the old campus, which that building's been vacant for 20 years, outrageous. That's the old Weber State Gym campus. When Jack Garner refused to play him at the U, I says, that's when I became the heart in the old Swenson Gym. They just won the national championship. He the first to win a national championship, Alan Holmes at Weber State. And that was Coach Peterson, right? Fuck, that dude. Talk about a legend in this town. No, it was Wat Masaka. How come his number's not hanging in here? Who's that? First player of color in the history of the NBA? Yeah, he won national championships at Weber State. Played with the great Arnie Farron. Ogden High. Both of them played at Ogden High on the same team. Born and raised in Ogden. So, Dillion, that's one of the greatest wins in the history of the school. So I talked to Brad Mortensen the other day, and I says, Brad, this is the best basketball team they ever had. You think? Yeah. So I'm way over there, going to the hospital to get my blood drawn, and I run into one of the players over there by the bus, and we talked. He brought up the conversation with me, and he says, hey, you're the guy. What do you mean I'm the guy? You're the guy. Everybody around here knows it. And I'm like, yeah. I says, you're on the basketball team, huh? I says, I think I know who you are. I'm not sure. And he says, who do you think I am? And I says, Blaze Threet, Sidell Threet's son. Yep. He says, you coming to the scrimmage on Friday? And I says, we're having real refs and everything. I don't know if Coach Duff wants me there. I don't know. I don't want to just crash the party. And he says, no, I just invited you. There's guys in there coming. So I'm like, okay. He invited me. I'm coming. So I went in there and I went over to Eric's office. And there was Eric. And I'm like, is it okay if I come? I don't want to come in if you don't want. No, come. Go. By the way, I'm a giant fan of his. He's really made a believer out of me. He's something to coach. He reminds me of Phil Johnson. And that's saying a lot. People don't realize Phil Johnson. I mean, Phil Johnson played the assistant all those years for Jerry. I've always said if Jerry Sloan would have stepped his ass off this field, I mean, I was not a Jerry Sloan fan. The most predictable coach. Him and Randy Ray are very similar to each other. And here Eric sat on the bench all those years and had to watch this, and I was afraid he was going to be in, Randy Ray knockoff. Shit, he's the opposite of Randy Ray. Randy Ray wouldn't have won that freaking game with this team in a million years. Same with, I've always said if Phil Johnson would have got the head coach of the Jazz, they'd have 4 or 5 banners up there with Stockton and DeMalone. The old Swenson. He's from here. He's Weber State coach, like Dick Motta, like Coach Peterson in the day, like the great Neil McCarthy, like the greatest basketball coach here, Ronna Baglin. Well, that's debatable. A lot of people will fight you. I go back to Gene Vischer, Sweet 16 team. What about people? I mean, there's an excellent case that can be made that Phil Johnson's the greatest coach in the history of this school, but this guy is all that. This team, and I loved his interview last night with the great Clout. We love Steve Klauke. Now, Klauke asked, and it's Dillion Jones, and he says, here's the thing. Yeah, Dillion Jones is a hell of a player. He's a good player. But we have lots of good players on this team. Boy, did Dillion Jones carry him in that first half yesterday. How about 2? I've watched these guys progress. They've stayed together. They've stuck it out. This is a veteran team who has been together for a long time. And by the way, Dyson Kohler, he's local. He has a scar on him. My chest was split open last year and for the second time my heart pulled out. She says, he is scarred. I told him one day, because he had his shirt off over there, after practice, and I'm like, that's the best fucking battle wound I ever saw. Ever. That's including me. I've got scars all over me since the cancer. So when I had the heart attack ripped to shreds last winter, kind of like when I got the cancer in 2011 and missed, some of Lillard's games, Clocky gave me a call out. The only people in this freaking town, all this hard work, was those guys. The basketball team. Oh, yeah. They were getting a hold of me. And, the first thing when I walked in, I could barely walk last year. I mean, barely walk. I moved, and I kind of made my way down to the floor after the game, and every one of them came up to me. The first one was Dillion Jones. He come up to me and he says, I've been praying for you. You okay? Yeah. Every one of them, one after another, walked up to me and, hugged me, wished me good health, pray. I mean, all of them. I'm friends with all these players. I've watched them grow as a team. Two, what he's evolved into, but it isn't like it just happened. These guys work so fucking hard. Like Lillard. Fuck Lillard. If you don't know about Lillard's workout fucking routine, oh, it's legend. And so I knew it. I told Brad Morrison, no, they're going to win this fucking game. I told everybody. Fuck, I wish I was still a gambler. $100 would have got you back 1,100 last night. They were 60. There's some fucking moron on the internet. My free pick of the week. I'm going to take St. Mary's over Weber State. Oh, shut the fuck up. I'm thinking these guys don't know anything. So, that point guard, I talked to him many times. I've talked to him a lot. I said, 10's the number here. Why? And I says, one name, Jerry Cardi. That's why. By the way, did you see Zaire Porter in Albania? Oh, he just put up 57. These guys go crazy in Europe. Scotty Bamforth, a legend over there. There's two of the transfer players here they're just young, 18. Really young cousins from Serbia. You know how they found out about Weber State? This is Scotty Bamforth, our favorite player in Europe. And then we Googled around, found out he played at Weber State. Yeah, I mean, they'll tear it up. So, but I told Dylan, I said, listen, they were all, when Dylan was a freshman, a bunch of them, I said, listen to me. Randy Ray has never won an NCAA tournament game. What? Not even Damian. What are you talking? I said, Damian Lillard never played in the NCAA tournament. What are you talking about? They didn't know. And I says, no, they didn't tell you that, did they? Anthony Johnson, the greatest performance in his. Anthony Johnson has died this year, by the way, of a stroke at 37. He said later after that game, I had an out-of-body experience. Weber was ahead 40-20 at halftime. Then they were ahead, I believe, they were ahead by 23 in the second half. With the number one free throw shooter in the country. This guy went unbelievable, double team, triple team, quadruple team. You couldn't stop him. Never missed a shot in the second. Never missed a free throw, 100%. He said later, he never did it before. He said, I had an out-of-body experience. Whoa, the water's curse. But he's tragically passed away young at his daughter's birthday party. He had a stroke. So I've dedicated the season to him. I was doing the call on that game. And the Montana people doing the call, they left at halftime. They're like, we're out of here. There's a storm calling in. This game's over. That's a true story. So, all these legendary players that have played here, Dillion Jones, all that, then some. By the way, he leads the country in free throws right now. So, I backdoored these guys. They want to get rid of KWCR 88.1 The Beat. Go the fuck ahead. So, I just bought a ticket. A guy who used to listen to my vlog and KWCR, he says, no, you're right, Kevin. I think this is going to be a legend season. You need to be on the front row right behind Clouky. I says, go see if there's any available. I says, yeah, there's people, they're available. People, let me know how much. So, he called me and paid for it. I think it was $335. Front row seats to see Dillion Jones will go for 5 times that here in a couple weeks. So how many will they rip off in a row? So I'll be holding this up every game this sign. And I bought this at the bookstore, by the way, today. And I have the video of the first shot of the first regular season game. Dillion Jones hits a 3. Dillion Jones epic. Here's the thing about Dillion Jones, that he'll be a mega superstar in the NBA. I really thought he'd go in the draft. So Dylan tells me, oh, really? Randy's never won? They haven't won an NCAA 99? Oh, I'm getting one. We are getting one, he says. I says, oh, really? This one is a freshman. I promise you, I'm going to get you an NCAA tournament win. So last year, I thought for sure he's gone in the draft. I really thought the Lakers would jump in front of the Celtics to grab him. And I'm the guy that named him Dillion Magic Jones. And then I changed it to Dylan Dantley Magic Jones because he's developed that at one in the rim and the great free throw shooter that would develop at the rim and just go at it. Dantley, Adrian Dantley. And you think Adrian Dantley made free throw? Oh. A guy this size, Dylan Jones, the way he shoots, he's leading the country. He's either 18 for 18 or 19 for 19 from the free throw line. But they're solid, they're deep, and they have a great coach. I mean, I was really skeptical at first. I'm not skeptical now. He's all that. I've listened to the way he does it. These guys have worked so hard. I mean, they've stayed together for the evolution of 2 for 2, and then, and they have Tamba, even Louis Jordan. This place will be rocking for the first time since freaking the great Neil McCarthy, when it was sold out every fucking night. Randy Ray ran a lot of fucking fans off here. Heartbreak after heartbreak after. Just like Mickey Mantle's doing at the Weber State fucking football program. So, the talent that has been on this campus the last 15 years absolutely blows my fucking mind. And I've got to be friends with the likes of Rashid Shaheed, Teron Johnson, Jonah Williams, Mr. Opeta, Adam Rodriguez. I can go on and on and on. That's just in football alone. Winston Reed, Maxwell Anderson. All these freaking incredible. But basketball? Oh, forget it. Scotty Bamforth, Jeremy Singlet, Joe Ballin. Boy, this is just in the last little while. I didn't think anybody could pass Harold Arsenault of the show or Eddie Gill, and the great Ron Abay. I love Ron. I work for Ron. He was the shit. And by the way, Dutch is still around. He's still here. He sat with me in that practice game, and I'll quote, Dutch is 91 or 2. Dutch told me, he says, no, Blanch. He says, Dutch and my dad were friends. He's like, no, Blanch. This team, I've been coming to practice. I says, they've been fucking playing like this? Yeah. He says, they are. I says, from what I saw today, this looks like the most talented, best team I've ever seen in the history of the school. You're on it, he says. So I'll be marking them off, sitting on the front row, holding up this sign. We'll mark them off. So they're headed to Eastern Canada, of all places. And this is how fucked up the school is. Klauke, even after the game, says, God, after this came out, really disappointed. I'm not getting to go. Why? Because I'm sure the school hasn't, because the football team's bleeding money and ripping off all the fucking money out of the athletic department. I mean, the money's been ripped off here. You can't fucking pay for fucking Klauke to fly to fucking Canada and do these are important fucking games. I mean, this tournament, they're going to play some great fucking teams back to back to back. So and when Dylan made his decision to come back, I didn't think he would. I had bets that he would. But I told Brad Morrison, the president of the university, and he was there at the game. I told Brad the other day, I says, this team is something else. I'm here to tell you. You think? I know, I told him. He says, we'll see down there at St. Mary's. I said, yeah, we'll see. They're going to win. Well, they ain't going to beat those guys. Those guys are way too good. I says, you want to bet me? They're going to win. I don't think so. Let's hope they just keep it close. Oh, fuck. I'm so sick of that keep it fucking close here. We're building for next year. I'm so sick of that shit. Right here, right fucking now. This is it. This is it. This is it. I'm not fucking Imagine Dragons' last concert at Radioactive. I saw some legendary performances in this building, including Jimmy Valbano cut down the nets, including Jason Kidd's last fucking game. The great Arnie Farron fucking put that together. I've seen legendary performances. Jerry fucking Harding. I was sitting there doing the call by call when the greatest performance, and that's including Stevie Nicks. I could watch her snorting cocaine back there because she was behind the curtain. Men at Work, Alabama, the concerts we got to see in here, like a Jethro Tull. I mean, never did I see a performance like 1 year to this moment before the Fukushima disaster, March 10th, 2010. Anthony Johnson. That was beyond a legend. I mean, it's legend. We'll see, but how many they can rip off. Now, everybody's like, why they got this horrible, shitty preseason schedule? Because that chicken shit BYU, that chicken shit Utah State, that chicken shit University of Utah, these chicken shits, when they saw Dillion come back, backed out. They were supposed to play Arizona here. Where are those chicken shits? I just told you why. They saw Dillion come. No, we're not going fucking, get knocked from a fucking 4 seed to an 8 seed. By the way, I talked to Eric and I says, here's the deal. Damian Lillard won the bracket buster game in here. I came out of the bone marrow trance. So I think it was his best game against that Texas starting when they used to do bracket busters. I think it was Lillard's best game. I was with my nurse. I was almost dead. I sat with Eddie Tillman. I could hardly walk. I was in the bone marrow transplant, Lillard's best game. They won the bracket buster. They were probably got a 11 or 12 seed that year. But Duron Cherry, his own nemesis, took care of that. Beat him in the championship game of Montana. I mean, it was a fluky ass thing. 3 times they lost here in his freshman year in the semifinals when they'd won it. Their old nemesis, no, Montana. Now the new nemesis is Montana State, but that win is more than historic. The deal is teams like you guys. You know the last time the Big Sky won a tournament game? Well, I wonder why. They get 16 seed every fucking year, and then these teams lay an egg. Weber State's the only one. Well, Montana won in 2007, I think, with Larry was the coach. Fuck, when you're 15, 16 seed every fucking thing, you got to win these big games. Somebody's got to win a big game and knock off a fucking top 20 team and then get some attention and just keep it fucking rolling, and then you'll get a fucking 10 seed. You'll get an ace. No McCarthy. Fuck, they won like 19 in a row. Knocking off everybody. They came in here in 1980 as the 6th seed, and they got a home game? Yeah. But they run into a guy named Billy Tubbs in Lamar. I was at that game. They got down by 19. Weber came all the way back, and more from here. Freaking God, I can't believe it didn't go down. We've had so many heartbreaking losses here as fucking fans. Not to mention football, but basketball, not this year. Not this year. That win, I've been here the whole time. You ask the old timer, I'll get an interview. He's 95. He's fucking gem. We love that guy. And he's like, Kevin Blanch is a walking, talking encyclopedia on a lot of things in this town. So is he. So is Dutch. We all sit down there. I'm on the front row now. I used to sit with my headset on, 88.1, the beat. When I got cancer in 2011, they sold out the signal. So me and Manny Gonzalez, we brought it back. I remember doing the play on Dillard's alumni game. And I'm like, go show them how it's done, Damien. They're shooting halfway. He walks up, drops it first shot. So we'll hold up, see how many they can string along, how many wins they can get this season. I said, no pressure on you, Eric. But I got the over-under on you on wins of 29. They're this good. They're deep. The evolution of 2 blows my mind. The addition of Blaze, fuck, how good is he? How good did he? Fuck, how about 2's fucking putback last night at the end of the game? And then that cold-blooded 3 that Dillion fucking knocked down. Whole. That team is all that St. Mary's team. And, you're talking 2 of the best defensive teams in the country. This team plays defense like no other. But they do offense, too. And they're deep. And they were double teamed. They weren't going to let freaking Steven beat them. Oh, he's all that. They weren't going to let him beat him. But, they tried to stop Dylan. They couldn't. So, Dyson Kohler, he's the X factor on. Oh, yeah. Fuck it. But I've watched him grow. And so this team is deep and they're loaded. I love what Eric said last night. He says to Klauke, he says, no, Dylan's a great player, good player, but we have lots of great and good players. And he says, Klauke's the best. And he says, yeah, I talked to this coach. He says, yeah, we're all excited here in this gym to see Dillion Jones. He says, I don't think he's so excited to see Dillion Jones now. So I'll be holding these up and we mark them off. I'll get the players to sign it. This, no doubt in my mind, this season will be historic, or already is, but it's going to get more historic. The great Dillion Jones, who I'm very close friends with, who's every time I ever see him, first thing, and this has always been, he knows my cancer. He knows my freaking heart situation. He knows. We've talked when there's nobody in that arena. Lots of times, like I used to Jerry Hardy, and he's like, how you doing, man? How's the heart? How's the cancer fight? It's the first thing, because that's how respectful he is. First word when I come out of the hospital, I could barely walk. For the second time, Kevin, I've been praying for you over there in the hospital. So, if you don't think it's about the fucking fans, you don't know shit when it comes to sports. And that's where they lost track of fucking me over the football. This Mickey mental case, he hates the fans. It's all about him. So they blew all the fucking money. They rip off all the money over there at the fucking football team by the coach, so they can't pay for Falky to go to Canada. I guess it's on TV, but I'm an old school radio guy. I love listening to these games on the radio. By the way, I always say, why is Rashid Shaheed got the best hands in football? Because he spent 4 or 5 years watching Kevin Blanch flip the soup can on this campus. So, go Weber. Legendary. And I've been here the whole time. That's a win is as big as any win in the history of this school. As big as North Carolina in the tournament? Nope. As big as when they knocked off, I got to tell this, when they beat Michigan State, Judd Heathcote used to coach Montana. The last game in the Swenson Gym, oh God, did that place fucking rock. Willie Sojourner, Justin Thigpen, Bob Davis. I mean, oh my God. Gene Fisher, head coach. Phil Johnson, Dick Mott, Brady Smoke. This opened in 77. Oh my God. So the last game was like a double, triple overtime. And they knocked Weber out in the last inning. Weber paid them back in 1995. Ruben Nemhart, Jimmy DeGrafty. What a team, huh? They were 8-point favorites. Remember that idiot that does play for the Jazz now? God, he's a moron. He said, Weber State sent to the freaking Lions. They'll get blown out first round. I'm like, you're a stupid fucker. They'll win. They did. They should have beat Allen Iverson and Georgetown, but that Hail Mary, freshman Allen Iverson, we were stomped him the whole game. Ruben missed the first end of the 1-1. One thing about this team and this school, free throw shooting, legend. Dillion Jones looks like to me he ain't 6'6". I think he's getting bigger. Dylan Magic Jones. Dylan Dantley Magic. Oh, he's like that. So let's sign it here. Let's sign down here where I stomped it with my boom. So I'll be holding this up every game. They're going to quit doing hard tickets here, so we'll get it figured out. So we'll just start marking them off. And it's time, man. It's been a long, long dry spell since '99. That heartbreaking loss against fucking Florida. I was there at that game. I was there when they knocked off North Carolina. That Florida game, they missed a free throw to win it, sent it to overtime, and got beat. And I think Florida went to final. Weber State had a Final Four team that year. Arsenal and Gill. So it's time. This team is something else. Love that idiot on the internet and all these guys. Hey, you got my free pick of the week. Whoops! Stupid fuckers around here. Well, not around here. They don't. Oh, freelance fucking media. Somebody who's actually doing the work to keep track. You seen media in this country? You seen sports writers in this country? Fuck, they're pitiful anymore. I can't believe there's more guys like me on every university, on every fucking, professional sports, all the sports, because the fucking media is pitiful. You read these panty painted fucking art, they fucking suck. They have a good photographer, the fucking. But just remember Damian Lillard when he's here. He never got no love from nobody in the fucking Utah. I mean, Jammer, fuck. So we got the attention. I was on campus, this morning going over getting some work done. You could hear people everywhere. You see that? You see what Blue State's basketball team last night? I haven't heard that kind of fucking rhetoric over there at the school in fucking 40 years. So this place will be get rocking. They're gonna start selling the Dillion Jones jerseys, I think, this week. I already have one that he signed. I got one. I have a real one that he game worn. So Congratulations on the legendary win. What a journey this has been, huh? This incredible freaking palace. I'll never forget that night. Anthony Johnson did that. Blows my mind. Stay in turn.